tell me a little bit about yourself and how you became involved in the Howard area Community Center Clubhouse.
Wow. Well, I've lived in this community now for about 15 years, and I started working at the Howard Area Community Center as an instructor in the adult education department, teaching emerging ELL learners from all different types of places. And then I began working as a coordinator in one of the youth programs. I've been the director of the youth department now for about 8 years, and I love it. It's one of the most important things we can do is to help young people explore.
What kind of learners? DNL? What was the acronym that you used?
Oh, ELL, English Language Learners.
Oh, okay. So that's
Like ESL?
I see.
Yeah. So Rogers Park is a very diverse community,
Right.
so there's one classroom of ESL learners might have as many as 12 different native languages represented.
Oh, okay. So do you have enough people versed in those languages to interact with the youth?
Well, sure. Well, we do our best to be as culturally aware, but no, we don't have that. We don't have that many language learners. I think there's about 60 languages or more spoken in Rogers Park alone. So it'd be tough to have a staff that spoke all of those languages. But we are an inclusive organization, an inclusive youth department.
How do you have to go into the community much to encourage parents to bring their youth to Howard Area Community Center, or would you say the majority of your clients they come seeking stuff to do for the kids?
We have been around for a long time, and because of our reputation in the community, we don't really have to do very much recruiting. There's more need in our community alone here than we would even have.
Right.
If we could have 2 of these clubhouses and have them both full.
Are you planning for a second clubhouse?
Only if funding came, we would love to have that. We believe in providing free programming to the youth of Rogers Park, and so we don't charge for our services. We rely on private donations and grants and private foundations to fund our programming. So that can be tough sometimes. It's very challenging. We try to do as much as we can. This summer alone, we've had 65 people on average in this building every day, and then over on Howard Street, we had a summer camp that had 40 people there every day. So over 100 people, over 100 young people were in our programs all summer long.
How long do you usually stay in your programs before they move on to something else?
Well, here in the clubhouse, the dosage is high, very high. We have people that come, I'd say 60% of our population, of our participants, come 3 days or more. And I think I was just looking at these numbers the other day, I think 75% are coming 4 and 5 days a week.
What is your most popular program?
The clubhouse.
Oh, I know they are, but there are so many activities. So the youth are interested in all the activities, or are there some activities that are more well used than others?
Sure. Well, we are a youth voice themed program, so we really take into account what the youth want to do here.
And what do they usually want to do?
Well, it always changes. Right now, esports is very, very popular, so that's one of the number one things. You might have heard about the Fortnite World Cup that was just held. So we have 2 esports teams plus a Roblox community. And then in addition to the training and the gaming involved with that, there's other activities like streaming or broadcast arts that help support those programs. So right downstairs, you could go take a look right now and see 2 of our broadcasters that are working on creating live streaming broadcasts of events.
The content that they create, is it broadcast anywhere? Do other media access it and show it?
In the case of live streaming, these tournaments that are live, anybody can have access to it and watch it live. And then We record it and put it through post-production and then put it on our YouTube channels.
Do you engage much with the parents, or is it just the youth? Do the parents sometimes come in and see what the youth are doing?
We encourage that as much as possible. Parents are busy though, families are busy, we understand. There's a lot of single-parent families as well, so that can make it even more challenging. But we make it a goal of ours to have at least 4 family engagement events per year where families and community can come in and see what's going on, and parents and families are welcome to come anytime.
Are they well attended, the 4 family engagement events?
They can always be better. They are, but that's always an opportunity of ours.
What are the times that you usually arrange for? What is the best time for families to come in? Like what time of the day is the most popular?
That can be tough. So especially if we do it during the school year or the summer. And in the summer we have our programming in the daytime. But every family is different.
And when
We try to meet those needs though, for sure.
when families come in, do they take a look at what the kids are doing? Look around the clubhouse. What do they usually? What engages them the most?
Well, in the case of the expos like this, that's the whole idea. The youth will set up their booths and their arenas, and they're prepared to tell all visitors about what they do. They practice elevator pitches, they practice what they know. Certainly they are experts in what activity they're doing. And in the case of drop-in times when families come, yeah, we try to take the time out to show them around, whatever they want to do.
Do any of you that apply these skills and then go into business, because you've been here for quite a while and you've seen some of you, maybe get into college? Do you have any success stories to share?
Sure. Well, we offer a scholarship program here. That's one thing.
How much is the scholarship?
They're good for their 4-year scholarships, $10,000 a year, so $40,000 in total. We issue 4 of those a year.
Are they from donors or are they from grants?
We have a special grant that helps supply this for us. So we're in our 8th year of it now. So we've already had 26 scholars. Some of them are active, some of them have already finished college, obviously, because that's 7 years ago. We're currently selecting our new.
Okay.
Yeah. And, a great success story is that youth keep coming back. We have a high retention rate here, so youth come every day, they come back every week, they come back every year. On average, I'd say our participants here at the Clubhouse come here for over 3 years, some as much as 5 years. And then some come back as alumni. We've started a special alumni club for people that have aged out officially of the Clubhouse, but then they still want to come back. And we even have 3 former participants on staff right now.
Terry D being one of them?
And that's correct, yes, absolutely.
What are the majors that eventually a lot of them go to college and are scholars? Is there any major that they kind of drift to more than others?
Oh, they can be all over. Yeah, it's quite varied. But one thing that's in common is all of our scholars, 100% of them are first-generation college-bound. They're the first in their family to go to college.
Do you? How do you find enough people to engage with the youth as they learn the different skills, such as podcasting and coding? How do you find enough people to work?
Sure. We for the past 2 years we've had a full-time mentor coordinator on staff, and that's been very helpful. Volunteers and mentors are essential to the work that we do here. Without their dedication and passion, their skills, their time, we couldn't do this. Having those adult allies as mentors for youth is really important. So having a mentor coordinator is key, and that's Athena, and she recruits, she creates training plans, she works on retention, she works on goal setting with mentors, she matches mentors with specific youth and arranges their times, and then even does exit interviews with them.
How does one become a mentor, and where do you usually draw your mentors from?
They can come from all over as well. There's a lot of university students that become mentors. but they can come from anywhere. Some have specific tech skills, and that can be very helpful. So if there's somebody that knows how to make films, or somebody that's a graphic designer. But really what we're looking for is somebody just with the passion and energy to want to be with youth in our clubhouse.
Do you mention in your website that you need mentors and that's how they come, or do you go into the field to try to find good mentors for the youth?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. The mentor coordinator develops a
Relationship with different.
well, definitely there's a relationship with them. There goes a mentor right there. Shane. And a scholar. He's a promise scholar as well.
Oh, congratulations!
But yes, relationship building is key towards with mentors and students or members here.
Okay, with, relationships in regards to institutions, or in regards to families or community organizations. would you
I
say?
see. Yeah, so we have relationships with several of the universities. Loyola University, we have Federal Work Study, as well as volunteers. Northwestern University, we have we've connected with their volunteer student organizations. Adler University provides us with social justice interns, as well as Federal Work Study, and National Louis University provides us with Federal Work Study students as well.
So different universities, such as I go to Northeastern. Northeastern Illinois University could come and apply to be in a mentor program, because we have justice studies students that might be interested.
Yes, absolutely. Well, number one, we don't need to have a formal relationship with the school in order for a student to become a mentor here. They just have to come in and have a meet with us, and we'll try to establish a fit. But yes, we could work with that department, and we do have a relationship with Northeastern, with their social work department.
Oh, okay.
So we have BSW interns that come in and help our programs every year.
Oh, that's wonderful. How long do mentors usually stay?
How long do mentor?
Yes, how long would they work and stay in a program?
Right, so we do differentiate between volunteers and mentors. They're both volunteers, but a mentor has established a sort of a plan where they might stay for a 3-month commitment, or a 6-month commitment, or a 1-year commitment. And that's really entirely up to the mentor as we develop that relationship. We want them to set smart goals, realistic goals that they can hit, so we don't want them to commit for a year if they cannot do that. But 3 months would be the minimum commitment time. And that's the whole process then. If they make a commitment for 6 months, then we follow them through those 6 months, providing them with resources and helping them along the way, and then we do an exit. And then at that time, they could decide to stay on and do another 6 months after that.
How many mentees do they take under their wing for one mentor? Usually.
Right, it's not one-on-one matches typically, so it could be that they come in on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and they'll be in the clubhouse, and then we'll introduce them to the students, and then there'll be this organic sort of mixing and seeing how you get along with each other. Because we want everything to be a win-win situation for the students as well as the mentees, or the mentors, I mean.
What happens after they exit? Are there any mentors that actually start working here, or doing something that's especially notable here after being a mentor?
Sure. Well, Shane, who just walked by us right now, he's on staff with us for the summer right now. So he was a participant for a while, and then he was a volunteer for a while. Then he was an official mentor for a while, and now he's on payroll. He's a staff instructor.
Could you give us a little insight about how Sheng is different from other mentees, and how mentors, and how he progressed to becoming on staff? What's special about Sheng?
Wow. Well, he is very special, for sure. I think he really enjoys being here. He enjoys the environment that's here, I believe.
And he lives in Rogers Park.
And he lives in Rogers Park. Well, now he lives in East Lansing, Michigan most of the year because he's going to school, because he's one of our Promise Scholars. He comes here on breaks during the summer and winter break. So he's on staff for the summer and then winter break. If he has time, we would be blessed to have him volunteer with us again over winter break.
What's his major?
Chemistry.
Nice.
Yeah, he's very, very intelligent. And he's also very active at Michigan State University. He's doing very well in his classes, but he's also the president of the esports, of the Michigan State esports team.
What was his major interest when he was here? Was there anything that was chemistry related here that sparked his interest in chemistry, would you say?
Actually, I don't think that there was, but you'd have to ask him about that. But one of his main interests was esports.
Tell us a little bit about the competitions that you recently had with other clubhouses. Terry was telling me about that, but you could maybe go into a little more depth.
Well, actually, he's probably best to talk more about that
Okay.
more specifically. But we are we are part of the Clubhouse network, so we're one of 100 clubhouses around the world. There's 50 in the U.S. and 50 in other countries.
What other countries have clubhouses?
Argentina, Costa Rica, Ireland, Denmark, Mexico. I don't think I could list them all. Russia, Australia, New Zealand, a lot of them.
Where is the parent organization located?
The Clubhouse Network is based in Boston, Boston, Massachusetts.
Could
That's
you
where
give-
the flagship clubhouse is. We've been a member since 2005.
And when did the flagship clubhouse begin?
I think 1993.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you part of? How long have you been here?
Since-
12.
How long have we been a
How
clubhouse?
long have you been here?
I've
you
been
said?
here for about 14 years.
14 years. So that is like about.
Just after they became a clubhouse here. I think.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, so how did you become involved? Just for like, did you apply? What's your background that make you so such a good fit for the clubhouse?
Wow. Well, I have a degree in business, so I don't know if that specifically that seems like a great fit for the clubhouse. Which
Business
is,
administration.
That's right. I have some coursework in being a teacher, but I think I don't know. I think what probably makes me a good fit here is the passion to want to work with youth, and what we do with youth is a lot different than a lot of other youth-serving organizations.
How so? How are you different?
Well, we definitely believe in being adult allies to youth. We believe in youth voice. We believe in having oppression-free zones here at the clubhouse, which includes the concept of adultism. So we want to make sure that youth are treated in a way that's respectful, that's not taking power away from them. We want to give power to youth. Yeah.
Is that the philosophy of the clubhouse, the flagship, or has that been developed slowly over here as this clubhouse's philosophy?
That's a philosophy that I brought in here. Well, first of all, the flagship believes in youth voice for sure.
Yes.
But it's something that we had here that was separate from our clubhouse work. The notion of wanting to giving youth a space where their voice could be heard, where they were part of the decision-making process wherever possible. Because when you have that, then you have youth that are engaged in programming, and they become collaborators in running the program with you. It becomes actually a lot easier. And then you create higher engagement levels, higher attendance levels. You have a space where people feel different. I want youth to feel like when they know that they know the difference when they're in a Howard area program, when they're in the clubhouse because of the way they feel, than when they're with maybe another youth-serving organization. Although I wish everybody treated youth the same way, but a lot of places can be kind of top-down, you know.
Yes. When you say that you try to develop the youth's voice, what do you, when they find that they do have a voice, what do they gravitate most to? in expressing their voice? What's their main interest that they feel they need their voice to be heard?
Well, that's just it. It can be different for every youth. So the projects that we're working on now are ones that we've heard the youth want to do. Through surveys, it was discovered that youth wanted more opportunities to do design projects and to be able to enter them into competitions or expos. So we sought those out, and now we do Facebook's Engineer for the Week, which is a coding design competition.
When did that start?
The pilot program was last quarter, and our team, we entered one team. They were one of 20 teams that were selected to go to the final round in Menlo Park, California at Facebook's headquarters. And Facebook flew them out there, all expenses paid. And then out of those 20 teams, they competed for 2 days in a hackathon, and they ended up in the final 8.
Did you say hackathon? Hackathon?
Hackathon, that's right.
You mean trying to hack into systems?
Oh, no, not exactly. I know hacking can mean that. Hackathon can also be a word that means to make or to create or to build, even to tear apart so that you can rebuild. So it's different than hacking into websites or things like that. It's about building. So in this hackathon, all the teams were tasked with building a coding project using Scratch as a platform. They had to build a game as part of a play for change. They had to have a social message built into the game that they coded together.
What was Howard area's team's message?
Well, the message for the game that won them the trip was about conflict and about what types of behaviors, what types of reactions to conflicts would be the most healthy in certain situations. So they built a game called that. It was called the Respect Game. And then the game that they built while they were there had a environmental justice message. It was about pollution in the oceans. It was to create awareness about pollution in the oceans. So it was sort of a level up side-scrolling game in a way where you played a character named Terry the fish, and you had to get the fish home safely and avert garbage and things that were in the ocean.
Did the team select that storyline, or did Facebook assign it to them?
No, they built that themselves. Every team had to create their own project. The only thing that Facebook said for the competition was you have to use Scratch and it has to have a social message.
What about when they were at the Clubhouse and they concentrated on respect? Was that respect something that they felt they wanted to work on, or that they felt needed to be heard, or was it something that the mentors or the coaches suggested to them?
It was their idea. That's part of our youth voice. It's, we don't tell youth how they should feel. We don't tell youth what issues that they should investigate. We don't say this week we're going to do environmental justice, or we're going to do it doesn't matter. We don't tell them that. We expose them to a lot of different issues. We can give them some basic ideas and steer them into ways they can get more research done. But no, we don't tell them what they can do. They came up with all of those ideas themselves, and that's why they're so engaged.
When you say you expose them to different aspects of society so that they're just more aware, how do you expose different topics to them?
Well, we have conversations, circles. We talk about things. We listen to what they want to talk about. We have conflict resolution circles, healing circles. We do circles at the beginning of program and at the end of program. And when things come up, we can talk about them. We can use a popular education format in how we talk with our youth. That's where everybody in the room is a teacher and a learner at the same time, as opposed to sort of a top-down method where where the teacher is just like making deposits of information in their heads. We want everything to be interactive. And we learn just as much from them as they learn from us too.
I could see that. So since after all these years that you've been working here and you've been learning, how is it different now from when you began?
Because we have such heavy involvement in STEM now, the Clubhouse has grown so much since our very beginnings, I think. We're almost overgrowing the space here. I told you if we had double the space, we could probably fill it, I'm sure. Also, since then, a lot of the technology has changed. We've gone into a lot of these design building projects where they can create things and enter them into expos or into these competitions. Another one of them is the Reach Media Festival, which is an international film festival that we enter every year.
With the podcast that the youth and film, what do they produce?
Yeah, well, our first year we entered a movie trailer, and we became worldwide. We became one of the 6 finalists in one of the categories.
What kind of category?
It was for digital filmmaking.
Okay.
And we didn't go beyond that, but that was a great success for us. This year we're going to enter, I think, at least 10 projects into the Reach Media Festival, and I think 3 or 4 of them will be podcasts. Other ones will be digital film, and also the games. We'll probably enter some of the coding games.
The digital films, is that people on the film, or is it something generated digitally?
It can be both. The one that we had entered was a combination of live actors with green screens being filmed and then edited, and then some of it was also 3D animations that were created.
What was the storyline?
So it was a trailer for the film. So the film didn't actually get made, but the trailer of the film was made.
Okay.
And the storyline of the film was a young girl that wanted to enter the highly competitive field of esports that is also highly male-dominated. So she has a lot to overcome in experience and in oppression going against her, being that it's a male-dominated field, and then her rise through it. And then there's a side story of her trip to Asia to see where her father had disappeared to. So then there's sort of a familial storyline on top of that as well.
Wow, Robert, thank you so much for your time and describing the Clubhouse. It's very important what you do, and thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you very much.